Hi, my name is Kristin Constable, and I'm a leadership and business coach to values-driven entrepreneurs who are committed to leading wildly successful businesses while living rich and fulfilling values-driven lives. So today's video is on a leader lesson, and it's part of a series of leader lessons that are videos between 5 and 10 minutes that are on one topic that will support you in thriving as an entrepreneur. So today's leader lesson is all around how to create a solid foundation. And before we dig into what that's all about, I want to check in with you and get you to do a gut check question on where you're at with having a solid foundation for yourself. So the question I want to ask is on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being barely surviving, 10 being thriving, where are you at with your fundamentals? So the fundamentals we're going to be talking about are food, sleep, water, and movement. So when it comes to those 4 fundamentals, where are you at? Are you barely surviving or are you thriving? Now, the thing is, when I work with most of my coaching clients, these fundamentals, food, sleep, water, movement, are usually the place that we start. Now, the funny thing is most people don't want to start there. They want to get straight into all of the things outside of themselves, like the business strategy or the systems and processes. And they forget about the most important system of all, and that is us. As an entrepreneur, you are the vessel that's going to bring your ideas and your vision into the world. And you need to make sure that that vessel is optimized so that work can come through you. The best way to optimize your vessel is simple but not easy, and it's those 4 fundamentals, the foundation that you build everything else from. So in today's leader lesson, I'm going to talk about 2 big ideas that can help you in creating that solid foundation of fundamentals for yourself. So those 2 big ideas are consistency and tapping into your intuition. So let's start with tapping into your intuition. What does that mean when it comes to these fundamentals? Well, the thing is our bodies are infinitely intelligent. And often what happens is we don't listen deeply enough. We look outside of ourselves to people, to things, to the newest fad that can help us be more productive or kind of hack, diet or energy. And the reality is, if we just listened to what our bodies were asking for and what they needed, we would be able to optimize our performance, our potential, and really our well-being. So a question that I want to leave you with and get you to ponder on when it comes to helping you activate and tap into this intuition for yourself is the question, when do I feel at my best? When do I feel at my best? So this is in relationship to food, sleep, water, movement. What are the things that you know you should be doing? Because when you do those, you feel at your best. So maybe when you ask yourself that question, what comes up is that you feel at your best when you get 8.5 hours of sleep a night. But then the ego gets in the way and says, well, you should be fine with 7. You don't need 8.5. The work here is to listen to what we actually need and to get out of our own way and get out of our own heads with what we think we should be doing. Sometimes the answers you might uncover are ones that you don't like. Maybe it's you can't eat dairy. Whenever you eat dairy, you feel sluggish. People love ice cream. The thing is to really listen. It doesn't mean that you have to go all in or not do it at all at this point. All you're doing is just listening and bringing some awareness to what helps you and what makes you feel at your best. So the second big idea then is all around consistency. Once you have a good idea around what are the things that help you feel at your best, it's all around creating consistent habits to make those things happen. So habit implementation when it comes to these fundamentals is such a helpful tool. So the science of habits is really great because there's some key core things when it comes to habits that if you implement them with these key core things will really help you in having habits that last for the long term. So what are those things? So the first thing is chunking it down. Often what I see is people try to go too big when it comes to the habits right out of the gates. Get excited and you're like, I'm gonna meditate for an hour in the mornings. But you're not meditating at all yet. So start with a small habit that will really set you up to win. When we take on habits that we actually don't see through and we kind of fall off the bandwagon, the message that we're sending ourselves is that we can't do it, that we can't trust ourselves. So you don't want to be sending yourself that message. The message you want to be sending yourself is, I can do this, I'm winning, I'm successful, and I can build upon this and do more. You want to be able to count on yourself. So start small, set yourself up for success. The second idea when it comes to habits is really leveraging the if-then cue. So what's an if-then cue? Well, the best way I think is to give you an example. So maybe you're wanting to drink more water. So the habit that you implement is, if I see the glass of water on my bedside table when I wake up, then I drink the whole thing before doing anything else. If, then, and it takes the thinking out of the equation. You don't have to remember to do this habit. You're setting systems in place that will trigger you into activating that habit. Super powerful. So if-then cues. The next thing is to do this habit every day. The brighter the lines you have around these habits, the easier it will be to stay with them. When there's room for negotiation, you will negotiate with yourself. So create bright lines around your habits where it's very clear around what you need to do and when, no negotiation. And the final tip I want to leave you with when it comes to habits is to track and celebrate your success. When you really start to bring some awareness to, well, what actually is the impact of this habit that I'm implementing, you'll start to see the rewards, which will produce the craving. And the craving is the key piece to turning any habit from a conscious task that you have to do into an automated process. So your job is to really tap into the effect that this habit is having, and that will start to create a craving where you wouldn't go a day without it. You wouldn't not do this habit because it makes you feel so good. So those are the couple of pieces that I want to leave you with. Tapping into your intuition, creating consistency around these fundamentals that really will help you thrive. And before we wrap up this leader lesson, I want to walk you through one final practice. So in this moment right now, I'd love for you to bring to life in your mind's eye your future self. This could be your future self, your 40-year-old future self, 50-year-old future self, 60-year-old future self, it doesn't matter. All you need to do is bring this person to life in as much detail as possible. And once you've got this future self of yours present in your mind's eye, you want to think about, what would they ask of you today? What would they ask of you to do today that would help them thrive? You have big work to do in this world, and you are the only person who can make sure that the vehicle that you have to do the work is optimized and can take you where you want to go. So it's time to get started, and it's time to implement some of these foundational, fundamental habits that will set you up to thrive. So my challenge for you is right now, comment below the video with what habit you're starting with, what you're going to take on. Download the habit tracker that's in the notes to this video so that you can track your progress and create a little bit of fun and momentum out of this. And here is to you thriving today and in the future.